Hi, welcome to Lessons for Little Blessings. If you're interested in a resource to help your child with reading, vocabulary, or comprehension, I have an amazing website to share with you. I discovered this when I was teaching first grade in the classroom, and now I'm homeschooling my son and we're using it also. So it's great for classroom or at home. So let's check it out. So the first step you'll do is go to readworks.org and you will sign up for an account. Okay, so go ahead and enter your information. Okay, so that'll take you to this page. You'll tell more about your role. I'm going to mark teacher. That's really the only one that I can speak to on this list, so I know if you click teacher, you'll be able to see what I see. I'm not sure about the other accounts. I'm going to pick, my son's doing preschool, so I'm going to pick kind of these lower levels, and we'll pick remote. That part doesn't matter too much, and then just choose what you're interested in, and we will continue. I'm going to click no since we're homeschooling. You may donate if you'd like, or just click close. Enter your city and state information, and that'll bring you here. So I'll show you how to create a class once we get there. So let's just go up here to find content now, and that'll take us to the main page. Actually, it'll take us to this find content. Over here on ReadWorks, just their home page, I'm just going to show really quickly here this. Actually, we were going to talk about that webinar. So there's this new teacher guide if you want more information about ReadWorks, as well as up here at the top toolbar on the right, there's webinars. So if you feel like you need more information than this video is giving you, you can find some more information there. They've got free online webinars, so that might help. But let's go back over here to find content. And we are going to look at, there's kind of two main areas that I want to look at. The first is reading passages, and the second is this article a day. So let's go ahead and click on reading passages, and we'll start there. So on this side, you have some customizable options. So I'm going to click kindergarten for grade level, and I always like doing this question set at least. Now, some of these question sets will be more useful for the older kid, like inferences, open-ended questions where they've got to write a response. So you're welcome to play around with that and choose what works for you. There's also topics you can sort by, and then nonfiction, fiction, and reading level. And if you're not sure about the reading level, just go based on the grade and you'll still get a lot of options. So here, based on that criteria, are the options that we've got. So let's look here at take care of your teeth, just to show you a sample. So we have the passage, and there's this ability right here for the passage to be read to your child. So I think that is just awesome. So especially you get those younger kids, like my preschooler who's not reading on his own yet, he can have the passage read to him, and he can still do the vocabulary and the question set. So it's still really great introduction, even for those kids who can't read. So you'll see the passage down here. These highlighted words are the vocabulary. So you're able to click on the word, and it'll bring up a little sound thing here. You can click that. Brush. And it'll read it to you. It'll also have the definition, which you can also have read to your child, some sample sentences, a picture. So really helpful for some vocabulary words that kiddos might not know. Up here next to passage is vocabulary activity. So this is before they read. They'll answer some of these based on the vocabulary, and this they'll see after they read the passage. It'll be just a little activity that they can do. And then we've got the questions set. So again, the questions can be read to them if you click this little icon, so that's super helpful. And they'll just go through, answer some questions, and some of them have written responses. So that is the reading passage. Over here, if you're a teacher, you might find some of this useful. They've got the Lexile level, some standards, so that is also included. So let's go back out to find content, and we're going to look now at article a day. So I'm going to uncheck this so we can click on that. There we go. So same thing, you can check the grade level and other different topics that you might be looking for. We'll stick with kindergarten, and let's do this colors one I'll show you. It's very similar. So you have the passage. Again, it can be read to the child. You've got the vocabulary that you can click on if they need support there. And then up at the top, it's this tab called Book of Knowledge. So that is where they're just going to write a few things that they have learned in the passage. Over here on this side, I'll show you this see how to do article a day. So that will give you more information if you're kind of wondering how to put this into a routine. Maybe that can work for you. That might give you some ideas there. All right, so back out, and I want to show you another thing on article a day. ReadWorks has this scope and sequence. So if you're kind of wondering, how to get started with it, it just seems like a lot of passages, you just don't know where to go. This scope and sequence is really helpful. So it's in this blue box here, scope and sequence. I'm going to click on that. Now this, you can just have it all kind of set up for you where you don't have to think about what to do when. So let's click on September, since we're in September. So here for kindergarten, they've got week 1, they're going to do passages about this, week 2, week 3, week 4. Okay, and so they've got every grade level is broken up like that, and then each month. So you've got all these months going through the school year. So that is just a great way to kind of get started quickly and not have to think too much about it. All right, so that was find content. I'm going to go over here on my list. And that is where there's nothing in it now, but you can add different passages to your list if you want to check them out later. So just a quicker way to find something later on when you want to use it. And if we go back to reading passages over on the side here, this is where you can click, like if you want to check this one out later, you can save it to your list and it'll show up here. Okay, so next to actually one more thing, you can print these as well. I did want to show you that. So, let's go back to that. I'll just click on this mistletoe article. So you can print. We'll talk about this assigning next. So you are able to print. Okay. So here is where you can print if you want to print it out and have them do it at their desk or, whatever, just not on the computer. You have that option. All right, so now to assignments. You saw where if you click on the passage, that's where you can hit that assign button. And for assignments, we don't have any. We need to go set a class first. So let's go to class admin, the next tab over, and we're going to create a new class. Okay, let's just start with kindergarten. Just name your class. And this is a way to invite students. I like to just do this invite with roster so I don't have to mess with Google accounts. So here you can add, I'll just put in a few students here. Okay. We've got our class, 3 students are added. That password will be useful later on. I'll show you where you'll use that. So here is your class. It's got the list of your students. That's your roster. Now right next to that, groups. That could be really helpful if you've got, say, multiple reading levels within the classroom, which most teachers do, or if you're homeschooling and so you've got multiple kids, different ages that are at different reading levels. So you can create groups different groups. So anyway, that can be really helpful. And then over here, I want to show how to get students their assignment. So this website will be what students go to access so they can answer the questions. It's going to look a little bit different than this stuff I've been showing you because that's set up for the teachers or parents. So let's go ahead and assign a reading passage and then we can go through that. So let's go back to find content and make sure we're in kindergarten here for our kindergarten class. And let's go ahead and assign a cool pool. Okay, so we're going to click this assign button in the top right. And this will pop up. So for kindergarten, I'm definitely going to check this audio so they have the option for it to be read to them. You might not pick that if you've got older kids because then they don't have to try to read it themselves. So pick the class that you would like here. And then the other neat thing is you can assign it to the whole class or you can assign it to specific students. So if we click that, you can check what students you would want. Of course, their names would be here, so it'd be a little bit more helpful. And then the due date, you can do that if you would like. So let's say we're going to assign it that way. Assignment is created. Okay. So now we should be able to go back up here to assignments and progress. And in this kinder class, if you've got more than one class, you will see that listed here. So we'll choose our kinder class, and then there's the assignment, a cool pool. And over here it says 0 of 2 submitted. So I will show you now as a student how they'll go back in. So let's go back to our class under class admin. And we'll copy this website and we'll paste it in a new spot, and then we'll go back and we're going to copy that class code. And I see that password is just 1234, so that'll be our next question. So we get the class code copied in there. Let's say this is student 1 and their password is 1234. Okay, so this is what it'll look like for students. So you're able to download it if you want them to do it later and they're not going to have internet access or something, or you want to print it. So right now for them to do it on the computer, you would just need to click on a cool pool, the title, and then it gives them, this is that pre-reading vocabulary. So just to get an idea of what words they know so it can be read to them. And then they'll just kind of fill this out if they know the words or not, or to what degree. Okay, and then they're at the passage, so they can have it read to them, or they may read it themselves. They can click on the vocab if they need to, and when they're done, they'll click vocabulary activity, and they'll finish that vocabulary activity. And then it gives them that same vocabulary at the end to see if they want to change any of these. If after reading it, they've learned a little bit more about some of the words and any of that needs to change, they can do that there. And then the questions. So they'll go through and they'll answer the questions. Oh, and you know what? It doesn't show that little symbol for it to be read to them. So up here in the right, click that speaker button and then it'll show up so they can have the questions read to them. Okay, so they'll go through. We'll just quickly go through those, and I'm not going to bother with the written response. Okay, so the assignment has been submitted, so they're all done. So let's go back to our teacher one, and we'll go back to assignments, and there it's been updated. So we've got 1 of 2 students have submitted it. And if we click back on the title of that, it'll show how the student did. So that was student 1. Green means they got the question correct. Red means they didn't. So it shows the percentage. And then the written responses, you can click grade these if you want to look at those. We didn't answer them, so there's nothing to look at. And then the vocabulary activity up here, you can see how it just says they completed it, and then there was one change made after they read the article. So, all right, so that is kind of a quick run through of ReadWorks. So I hope that was helpful and you're able to use that with your child to help with their reading. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and you can subscribe and hit the bell notification to be notified of any new videos that are coming out. Thanks for watching and have a great day.